pituitary gland, thyroid gland, pancreas, adrenal gland, biracial. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to be doing another album review back to back. And yes, I will be reviewing the new Logic album. Okay, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Fuck it. So Logic is a rapper from Baltimore, Maryland in the USA, and he had been dropping albums after albums every year of his career. At least it seems so, because last year he dropped YSIV, and which is Young Sinatra 4, of course, and he also dropped another mixtape sometime later. I didn't really listen to it all that much because I really didn't care. And then earlier this year he dropped Supermarket, which is essentially a soundtrack to a novel. And this isn't even a rap album. It's an indie pop album that's sloppily sung, sloppily written, and that's cheesy and cringy like 60-70% of the time. And then not too long after, not even after the half-year point, we have Confessions of a Friggin' Dangerous Mind. Logic is actually not completely talentless. He can actually rap fast, and he's not one of those super dumb and lazy mumble rappers. Like, at least he can rap with a strong and entertaining and speedy flow, but that's pretty much the extent of it. Everything else about his music just simply... it's just not that good. He completely lacks style, first of all. It's not that he's versatile, it's just that he constantly rips off all the good rappers that he had heard, like Kendrick Lamar, or Eminem, or I don't know, J.I.D., or maybe a little bit of J. Cole and Drake. Not a little bit, actually a lot. And also on this album, he constantly presents us all these generic beats that's just half-assed. It's like he had this beat and then he just loops it for the rest of the duration of the track, and he just raps on top of it really fast without changing the tone or the flow or whatever. And it's just so redundant, just so repetitive. Change up, man. Add a little dynamic to your music, please. And what's really worse about his music is the lyrics. The lyrics are awful. But you know what's even worse? It's his attitude. Yeah. His attitude just sucks. It's like he is Russ #2 on this album, because he's always the one with the hard work. He's always working so hard to earn this spot, but then there's all these haters online, and he's just so bitter towards all the hate that he's getting. And man, I never thought someone would actually be this butthurt towards haters. And not like he's one of the most controversial rappers of all times as well. It's just, everyone has some sort of haters in some way, shape, or form, especially if you're a celebrity. And if you react this vigorously towards hate, man, you have thin skin. You have thin-ass skin. His attitude is completely unlikable on this album, and also really flat. On this album, on the lyrics, he's either bragging without any wit, or he's just whining about having all this hate. Like, why am I getting all this hate? I work so hard. Meanwhile, all the contemporary rappers, they're lazy, they're dumb, and a lot of them are mumble rappers. But me, I work really hard. And also, in case you haven't noticed, I'm biracial. Yeah, I basically just summed up the lyrics of the entire album for you. So, please allow me to do this review quietly. I'm on the 32nd floor. I live on the 32nd floor of a building, and this is coming from the 33rd. So at first we have the title track, and it's such a slow and mellow start to the album. Like, what? Like, like, is it his idea to make the album opening so mellow and so slow? It's kind of boring, to be honest, and you know, the singing is just kind of awful. However, this track kind of grew on me a little bit, and you know, it's not that bad. Like, at least it's kind of a relaxing and laid back and chill beginning to the album, I guess. And the second track is actually my favorite off of the album. It's Homicide, and it features Eminem. And yeah, indeed, the beat is actually pretty okay. It's pretty eerie, pretty catchy. Not anything great, but it's okay. And Eminem's flow is amazing as always. And you know, Logic's flow is really fast, and it's, you know, pretty skillful. And that's pretty much it. And then we have the third track, Wannabe, which is such a gross song. It's so gross and bitter. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous. I wanna be famous. Oh, but I'm nobody. I ain't no shit, so I'm just gonna fucking slit my wrists. Yeah, and the beat of this song is so dry. It's so dry and spacey. It's so uneventful. And then we have the song Clickbait, which is probably the worst, alongside with the track Bobby, alongside with Don't Be Afraid to Be Different. The track Clickbait is a track where he feels really bad about all the hate that he's getting on the internet, and he's like, fuck you, man. I don't deserve it. I'm so great, man. I work really hard. Like, I'm on another level, and it's not my fault. It's your fault. All my haters, it's your fault. Instead of self-reflecting why is he receiving hate, he is just blaming at his haters for being the one who's with the fault. And yeah, that's just so unlikable. And the beat is also super numb, super dumb, and it sounds really slow and retarded. And it's like he made this mellow beat, and then he just slapped a trap beat on top and then called it a beat. And it's just kinda gross, kinda disgusting. And the singing too, jeez, the singing is so horrid. And then we have the track Mama / Show Love, and it's also one of the better tracks on the album. Even though on the first half we get this generic trap beat and Logic's speedy hippity hip hop lyrical miracle spherical biracial flow, but on the second half we get YBN Corday, which is who is a good rapper. His rap verses are actually way more listenable and actually way more solid, and there's also sort of a beat switch, sort of an instrumental change that makes his verse even more appealing. But that's it. On the next track we have Out of Sight, and admittedly the instrumentals and the beats, they are okay. They're sort of vibrating and oscillating a little bit, and it's kind of relaxing and I kind of like it. But still, that's pretty much it. They have this section of the beat and they just loop it over and over and over again, and it just becomes super redundant and annoying. And then we have Pardon My Ego. Jeez, some of the worst lyrics on this album are on this track. Just to name a few: I ain't bipolar, but Kanye makes me wish I am. And that's just such a one-dimensional way to look at mental illness, especially bipolar disorder, and any other mental illness as well. Just because you have bipolar disorder, just because you have depression, or mania, or schizophrenia, or friggin', I don't know, OCD, or ADHD, or dementia, doesn't mean you can create good art. Even though I know some people, some artists, some great artists do suffer from mental illness, and these mental illness kind of assist them, kind of boost them up a little bit because of the uniqueness of their work. But still, just because you want to make good art doesn't mean you have to have mental illness. That is just such a one-dimensional way of looking at mental illness. Again, I don't want to say that for too many times, but I hate people who romanticize and glorify mental illness, because people who really suffers from mental illness know that it sucks and you don't want to have it because it's a problem, okay? So yeah, it's just disgusting. And then another line on this track would be, "Haters can suck my penis, my biracial penis." Nope. And the beat is also really annoying, with some drunken guitars and occasionally some woodwinds kind of sticking out out of nowhere. And the whole track is just so annoying and disgusting. And then we have a Commando, and it features G-Eazy, and G-Eazy's verse is completely flat, and the Logic's verse is completely flat, and it's just one bland, mundane migraine. And the beat is this generic, moody, spacey trap beat. You know, the kind of beat that you have listened for like 10,000 times? Yeah, that kind of beat. And then we have the track Icy featuring Gucci Mane, and dude, Gucci Mane completely phones in. And man, there's this singing that's in the instrumentals that's just super annoying. I'm ice, I'm clean, I'm ice. Oh man, it's just so annoying. And the beat is absolutely hilarious as well, because it's basically some sneaky guitar sort of sneaking from underneath, sort of boom, 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 boom. And the whole song is just a total train wreck. And then we have Still Ballin featuring Wiz Khalifa, and it has another generic ass trap beat that's just, yeah, you know, you can just go up to YouTube and search rapper, insert rapper name, type beat, and then you'll get this kind of beat. And then Wiz Khalifa's feature is just so tame, and it's not even his fault. It's because on this super fast beat, Logic raps so aggressively, and then we have Wiz Khalifa's feature, who of course raps very slowly, raps like he's always high, and it's just so unfitting and so out of place. Why don't you put Wiz Khalifa on some other track, on some laid back track? Why do you have to put him on this aggressive, fast song? It's just not making any sense at all. And then we have the track Cocaine, which has some, you know, heavy pianos and all. But then the song just comes off sounding like a Lil Pump song with fast rapping and solid flows. But that's it. And yeah, the auto-tune on this track, it's so subtle, but you can still hear it. And it's such a gross touch to the song. And then we have Limitless, which has some laid-back, chill guitars that are kind of choppy. And then again, he had to slap a trap beat on top in order to make it a beat. And it's just such a boring song. And then we have Keanu Reeves, where he doesn't really make any reference to Keanu Reeves at all. Yeah. And he keeps on talking about how he's biracial and all. It's like he's intentionally trying to trigger his haters. Like, man, I'm biracial. Ha ha ha. Look at me. Ha. And yeah, I mean the beat is okay. It's not terrible. It's a little moody and spacey, but in an interesting way, and I kinda enjoy it just a tad bit. But still, the lyrics, the delivery, the performance, they're just so unlikable. They're just so dislikable. And then we have Don't Be Afraid to Be Different, which is easily the cringiest song on the entire album. It features Will Smith, and we get a, you know, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song type beat, and Will Smith kind of reenacts the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song. And it's just so cringy. And it just sounds ridiculously cringy. Especially when they have to slap this really weird glitzy guitar line on the beat that just does nothing to the overall beat, the overall instrumentations. It's just there for no good reason. And also the lyrics suck as well, no surprise. And one of the lines is Logic basically saying that he doesn't care about lyrics, he only cares about the spirit, and you need to feel the spirit to get it. And dude, the spirit is nowhere to be found on this album. I can't find any spirit on this album. And also, the dude admitted it. He doesn't care about lyrics. And then the second last track is Bobby, all caps, and it features his own dad. In Spotify, it says My Dad, and if you click on it, it goes to another artist who is clearly not Logic's dad. But anyway, it's also one of the most disgusting and gross songs on the entire album. The beat is just absolutely annoying. Logic tries to be experimental by making this, by chopping up this, vocals and, making it sound really choppy and weird and experimental. But it completely falls flat because it does nothing musically. It's just there. It's like Logic doesn't even understand the point of an experimental hip hop beat. Anyway, conceptually, this song sucks even more because it's like he can't handle the hate. He needs his own dad to stand up for him. And then we have the last track, which is basically, it's titled Lost in Translation. And it's like the title track. It's really laid back. It's really mellow, except it doesn't have the smoothness and the quietness that the title track has. So it's just really bland and really boring. And the song just kind of ends off with a random girl speaking some Japanese, and that's basically it. So yeah, overall, it's easily the most uninspired album by Logic. The lyrics completely suck. The attitude that he has on this album is so dislikable, and the beats, they are really generic, and they're really repetitive and redundant, even though there are a few beats here and there that are actually okay. And Eminem and YBN Cordae's features are pretty nice, but other than that, I see no reason in liking this album. It's just one big train wreck, and a boring one at that. My favorite track is Homicide, and my least favorite is Don't Be Afraid to Be Different. And I'm giving Logic's Confessions of a Dangerous Mind 2 out of 10. Yeah, 2 out of 10. I mean, there are admirable qualities, okay, but they're just buried underneath all these bad qualities of the album. So, what are your thoughts on Logic's new album? For 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, hate if you hate it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Test this. That's the last gland. Ha!